So I guess welcome to my channel. After so many years and so many requests, I guess. You know, everybody says that, but there's zero requests. But I actually have had a lot of requests to start a YouTube channel, but I'm finally getting to it. And I'm a month behind because I had said that I was going to start in February. But, well, things happen, right? So let's just jump into it. I do have a co-host. As you see, she's everywhere I go. And so first and foremost, I do want to introduce you guys to my channel. I am a very open, blunt person. So I'm going to try my best to be very detailed with what I do and how I do my makeup. I am going to try to like show the product, of course, and all of that. And I'm even going to go as far as to say like how I prep my skin and what do I do before I actually put the makeup on. So for me, first and foremost, is like your lips, because I feel like with or without makeup, you need to have not crusty lips, right? So one of my personal favorites, I mean, I've tried Carmax, I've tried Baby Lips by Maybelline, I've tried, you know, chapstick. And out of all of the ones that I've tried, I feel like this one, the Vaseline, is the best. The lip therapy, I just feel like you apply it and you can easily in 10-15 minutes take it off, and it will remove like dead skin that you have had on your lips. So that is definitely a holy grail for me, with or without makeup. I'm always if I feel my lips are dry or I just need a little bit of shine, you know, just to go somewhere or whatever, I will put this on. There has been days that I will put on a full face of makeup and I really don't feel like having a bold color or any makeup like lipstick at all on my lips. So I will just go with the lip therapy with a full face of makeup. I have done that before. And I do want to push to say that makeup doesn't have any rules. You know, people may say, a lot of even professionals might say, like, don't do bold lip with bold eyes and do this color with that color. But makeup is an art, you know, for me, it's therapy. Like, it's a big stress reliever. My 2 hours, you know, getting ready, or hour and a half, or hour or 15 minutes, whatever I have to get ready for the day or an event, that's me time. And for me, it's very much so therapeutic. So I do take it seriously, and I love it. You know, and makeup doesn't define me, but it does make me feel better, and it does help me express myself, especially your mood, you know. So yeah. And as far as face, I'm gonna hit you with the oldie but a goodie. This is one of my favorite moisturizers, and I will apply it like before I do my makeup. If I know ahead of time, like, oh, I have to get ready at this time to be here at this time, I will try like an hour or 30 minutes before I start doing my makeup to try to apply this, just so I have time to like let it absorb on my skin, and so on and so forth, you know, before I actually apply the makeup. So yeah, and also as a night cream, if like I take off my makeup and but I can do another like getting unready or whatever they call it, you know, to take off your makeup. I can explain that at another video. But yeah, definitely I like just something that helps you moisturize. I'm not a very dry or oily person. I'm very normal. So I don't have any issues, right? Maybe if you are an oily person, this is not something that you want to use, or maybe just like either clean your face the normal way, or maybe something just for nighttime. But yeah, this is just what works for me. But like I said, I'm just normal skin. I don't have oily or dry skin. And for today's look, what I'm going to be using is, first, I already put on some of that Pond's facial moisturizer on, or what is it called? Yeah, facial moisturizer, dry skin cream. But I already put some of that on, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on to primer. The primer that I'm using at the moment is the Lancome Prep and Matte. It looks like that, and I like it. To be honest, I don't really see much of a difference. Like there has been times where I forget to put on more primer. My bad. There has been times where I've forgotten to put on primer, and I can't really say that I've noticed a difference. Maybe I will say that your makeup just usually like lasts longer, and the overall like look, but it doesn't depend. I'm not saying that it depends on putting primer or not. It's just the primer itself. Like this primer, I do feel that it does help you like stay matte for longer. So if you have a dry, like an oily skin problem, this might be a good solution. You know, but always remember that if you don't want to have a primer and a foundation that counteract. Like I said, you could use whatever you want, whatever works for you, but it wouldn't make sense. Like you have oily skin and you want to use a matte primer, but you have a illuminizing foundation. That really doesn't, that's not going to be something that you're looking for. So like I said, I don't have any, problematic like oily or dry skin, so I could really do either or. But since I do like to pack on my highlighter, I try not to use too like illuminizing foundations or primers because I love my highlighter, and I like my highlighter not all over my face. I like it in just the areas where I want to apply it. So I'm not very much into illuminating foundations, but I do like my highlighter, don't get me wrong. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. I'm gonna put some of this lip therapy on, and I don't know how long this video is gonna be because this is my first time and I am afraid that it's gonna be well up there, but anyway, let's just see where this goes. I'm just gonna do like a basic my go-to makeup, and if I wasn't probably talking, I would probably be able to do this like in 15 to 20 minutes because I already know what I'm looking for. I know how much to apply. I have this like down to a T. But this is my go-to makeup look. And as far as the primer, it's very little. I even think I put too much this time, but it's very little amount that you need. And I know sometimes like in some of my pictures, you can see it better than others, but I do have very like large pores on my nose and sometimes here. It just depends, I guess, how I've been treating my skin and how I've been eating and stuff like that. But yeah, so I do try and like, Oh, when I also apply my moisturizer, like my facial moisturizer, I do try to like get all the way down here. Except sometimes when like I take a shower, I sometimes put my perfume right after my shower. And so that kind of like defeats the purpose, but that's hardly ever the case. But I do, every time that I put anything on my face, I try to extend it like at least here, like past my jawline. That goes as far as the foundation as well. But yeah, so moving on. Today I'm going to be using, I have two different foundations that I'm using right now. I'm using, for today's tutorial, I'm going to use a Fenty Beauty, the Pro Filter. And I use the 190 in this. And I'm pretty fair, but I would go as far to say that I'm not pale. Like I do tan and stuff, but it's not nothing, I'm not, you know, dark by any means, but I am a 190 in this. And I do also use, like, this is my everyday makeup foundation, but I do have for special events or like something more fancy or long lasting, or that I'm gonna be outside for a while. I do have I use Estee Lauder. I do use that for like a more you know, full face, when I want something more full face. And in this I use very minimal, like, because like I said, this is my everyday look. And so I only try to use like 2 or 3 pumps at most. If I have really bad breakouts, then I will use the like 3 pumps or 4. But for regular day-to-day, my skin's doing pretty good right now. So I'll just use 2 pumps. And I am using a Real Techniques sponge, beauty sponge. I'm gonna be honest, I really like beauty blenders. To me, they are pretty good. The difference, I would say the major difference between beauty blenders and the Real Technique beauty blender is that the texture is definitely different once it's like wet. And I would say that this is a little bit more durable. Like it withstands. I always have nails. Sometimes right now I feel like they're the shortest that they've been in a while. But I do have a hard time, like when I'm washing them, I feel like the Real Techniques blenders are a little bit more durable. Like they withstand more like tugging on them and scrubbing them and things like that. And but I would say that the texture is a little bit thicker. So I don't know, like I think as far as the results, they're pretty much both up there. Like the result, I feel like it's the same. But of course the price is a big difference. If you are balling and you know you can ball out of control, go and get you the beauty blenders, you know, like do it, because I do feel that they wash better. I am gonna say, I guess because like I said, these are thicker, I feel like the beauty blenders do wash better than these. But if you are balling on a budget like me, I would say just stick to these. The result is the same, like I said, but the result is the same, like I said, but I do feel like the other ones are thinner. The beauty blender, I think, takes like, it's easier to dry also. So if you're like trying to use your beauty blender, like to put it somewhere to go on a trip and you want to apply makeup early, you know, before you head out or whatever, then yeah, like it just dries faster. But like I said, the result is the same. So it's up to you how much you want to spend. And for concealer, I use I don't even know, y'all did see me that I did apply. I try to apply all the way down my neck. And for concealer, I am using the same Fenty Beauty concealer. I am running low on this, but I do like it a lot. It just conceals very well with very minimal amount. And I'm not gonna lie, I do like the Shape Tape by Tarte also, but I don't know if you know, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and say, go ahead and leave your comment below if this also has happened to you. But I found that the Shape Tape would leak. Like every time that I was to go open the Shape Tape, it would be like coming out, like oozing out of the, like this part, like here, you know. And I'm a person that I keep my makeup, whether wherever I keep it, it's always in a bag. Like I always keep my makeup in the bag. I don't have like a little vanity to store my makeup. So I don't trust, I couldn't trust to put the Shape Tape concealer in my bag all the time. So I didn't like that. So, okay, for the Beauty Blender, or the Real Techniques blender, I technically just use the flat part to apply my foundation, and then I use the curved part to apply my concealer, just because you can get better in the center, like the middle of your eye lid, you know, in the inner corner, I want to say. And so that's why I use it like that. So then there's a reason for my madness, right? A lot of people say, what about your eyebrows, you know, and when are you going to do your eyebrows? So this is what I do. So since I'm applying my concealer, you know, and you don't want it to crease so much or whatever. So right after I put on my concealer under my eyes and my eyelids, I go in with another beauty sponge. This is by Real Techniques as well. I just can't remember the name of it. It's like a fuzzy, it has like a fuzzy material. And this one, I use it dry because it's for powders. So what I do is that I use the same curved area, and I just set my under eye with it. And I really bought this because I just wanted to see what the hype, you know, what was, if it was a difference. It does pick up a lot of product, and it sets it like really in a thick way, if you can see how thick it is. So I like that, you know, that you don't have to apply that much, and it sets very well. Then I also, what I do, and oh, by the way, my setting powder is also Fenty Beauty, the Pro Filter setting powder. I do use mine in butter. The good thing about this setting powder is that when you go to purchase it, I buy mine at Sephora, and whenever you do go to purchase it, I apologize, I think I have like a little, okay, when you do go to purchase it, it gives you the gives you the color of powder. It gives you the suggestion of what, according to what color foundation you bought, what color setting powder you should be also buying. Okay, so then when I set, what I do is, for me, since I have a lot of fine lines on my forehead, I do try to go ahead and set those first, you know, and apply it thick. And also right here, since these are where I have the most fine lines, and I do find that if I don't set it, it will crack earlier on than the rest of my face, you know, will start to mess up. So that's usually, and that's pretty good. Like for me, that does it. And then if you just wanna, you know, you have extra powder, I just do it also like on the tip, you know, the bridge and the tip of my nose. And that's it. Then later, when I'm finished doing my eyebrows, I will go with a big fluffy brush, and now with the excess that I put on the lid of the powder, I will go and, you know, like just dust off the rest of my face. But so yeah, so then while I'm baking, I do go ahead and take the time to do my eyebrows at this moment. My eyebrows are not shaped right now, and I should make time to do that. But I do use the pomade from Anastasia. Right now I'm using the dark brown color. I do like this a lot. It's just that sometimes I just don't have the time to shape my eyebrows with this because it's so time consuming. And then so when I'm in a rush, I just go ahead and I use the Brow Wiz pencil, also in dark brown by Anastasia, and I just do it with that. But usually when I have time, and I'm gonna do it today, I do use the brow pomade and the Brow Wiz. But like I said, this is my go-to look and my like do it quick type of makeup. I wouldn't have been using the pomade. I would have just done the Brow Wiz and called it a day. So what I do with my eyebrows, and maybe later I can give y'all a more detailed look. So I do start from the beginning with the pomade. When I use the pomade, I do start at the beginning and I underline my eyebrow like completely, right? Until the wing, the last, little part of my eyebrow. And then the top one, I don't start from the beginning. The top one, I start from like maybe 3/4 of a way down. And from there, I start lining. And then the same all the way to the tip. Then I will grab some more and start shading in, but the outer part of the eyebrow, not the inner, because if you do the inner, you're going to have a very dark eyebrow all the way. And what you want is that feathered look. You want to have like a little bit lighter here so it can look more natural. Personally, that's what I like. I don't like the Instagram eyebrows where they're like drawn on all the way from the front. I don't have a problem with the fullness of my eyebrows, so I don't have that issue. So if you're like me and you don't have an issue with the fullness of your eyebrow, don't start shading from the front because you want a feathered, soft look. You don't want a harsh line right here and then your eyebrow, harsh all the way through. So because you want a soft, so then you see here, my eyebrow line is very harsh. So with that product that I have underneath, I'm gonna feather that up. Okay, and that's gonna help me shade in the top part, but it's not gonna look so harsh. Okay, the only harsh part that you're gonna want is the outer part. You want that sharpness back here. All right, so voila. See? You see how it's darker here, but not so much here, right? So then, and you can shape it like if you want, with your finger, you can like sharpen it more, or a Q-tip or another brush or a concealer brush, whatever you want. But that's just how I do mine. And I used to shape them up with concealer, but I just lately have not liked my eyebrows to be so harsh looking, like so, I've been digging more of a blended look for my eyeshadow, my eyebrows and everything. So I personally don't. So I'm gonna do the same thing with the other eyebrow. Remember, 3/4 of the way down, you start drawing, because either way, you're gonna fill in the front with the excess product that you have in the back, in the bottom. Okay. And by no means, you can look in some of my pictures on Instagram or Facebook, whatever. Like sometimes my eyebrows don't look the same, and that's because they're not at all. Like this is my favorite eyebrow of all time because it's just so well behaved and it's so full, you know, and this one's not. They're not by all means are they the same shape or anything. Like the thickness is different, the shape is different. This one's more like smooth, I believe I want to say, like more smooth, and this one's like, you know, it just has a world of its own. But I try not to focus on it. I try not to make big deal out of it because the more you pay attention to it, the more it's going to bother you, and you're going to be self-conscious about it, and it's going to bother you and always. So there's no point. You're not going to change it. It's not something you can change or go pick out new eyebrows. So unless you get the microbladed, there's no, and probably even then they'll look different. So don't worry about it. Do the best with what you can, and trust me, we're all on the same boat with that. But I'm almost 30 minutes in this video and I'm not even halfway done. So I'm gonna try to like just talk through as fast as I can. So now that I've done my eyebrows, like I said, I will go with the fluffy brush. This is a MAC 107 brush, but really I like Real Techniques brushes as well. Like they work really well, and they're not nowhere near as expensive as these brushes. And to be honest, the MAC brushes tend to shed a lot. But you know, me being the wannabe makeup artist, when I first you know, years back, I thought that, you know, MAC was the best, and it probably is, you know, one of the best. But you know, now there are a lot of companies that will give you good quality for, you know, half the price. So yeah, I wouldn't go and invest in MAC brushes. They do shed a lot, and they're not as smooth as you would think they are. So I wouldn't, you know, it's just because what I have on hand, and you know, until the bristle completely falls off, or you know, whatever, then I'll use it just because that's what I have. So like you saw, I went in with like the excess powder that I still had on, and I just dust off my face so that now I could just like but I was gonna show you, but today I only had like one. But it does shed. These MAC brushes do shed a lot. So I used to use a smaller one, like for my foundation, back in the day before beauty blenders, and it shedded a lot. And to me, it just didn't leave much of a flawless look like the beauty blender, you know, like no streaks that the beauty blender leaves, no streaks. The brush, I feel like the MAC brush that I was using is a smaller one, like a same version of this but smaller. I felt like it was too streaky, and it shedded a lot. So definitely don't recommend. I've been using these. I've had these for like a couple years now, and they don't have a shedding problem, and they blend really smooth, and they're very soft and really easy to wash. I have the blush brush as well for that. So now for my face, I'm gonna show you what I do. I have this palette. It's a cheek palette. It has blush, bronze, and highlight from Benefit. Okay, and this, if I will go on a weekend trip like to Austin or road trip, whatever, I will pack just what I've shown you right now, like for that I've put on, and this. I will not take a palette, like an eyeshadow palette or anything else, because I'll show you why. So this palette comes like this, okay, and here it came with an applicator, but since I don't use it, I don't even know where it's at. So what I do is, like, if my intention is to put like a little bit of bronzer on, or I usually either do either or. If it's my go-to look, like my normal day, I either if I'm on a bronzer look, I'll just put the Hula color and, you know, go in. If some days I just want the actual like blush, so I'll put a little bit of both of these, the California and Dandelion on, and I'll just put it on the apple of my cheek. But like today, I'll just put some Hula on, and you know, just a little bit, just to give you some dimension and color. Because like I said, my favorite is highlight. So with this, I just, you know, something easy. Just to give you some dimension to your face. Okay. All right, so like I said, all your face, even highlight, like if you want to be the pink highlight, I wore it the other day as brow highlight because I wore like pink eyeshadow, but I've used it as a normal highlight, and it's cute. Like, it's something, it gives you like a little something different for a normal, like everyday type of makeup. So like I said, I don't pack anything else if I'm just going for like a weekend trip or you know, whatever, because I will use either the Hula or the Dallas as my eyeshadow. So, or I'll use both. Like, I'll start with the Hula and just put it kind of like on my crease. And, yeah, so I'll use this as my eyeshadow. And just to give you a little bit of dimension in your eye, you know, and you don't need to pack all these palettes. And a lot of people will ask me, like, how many colors or what colors do you have on your eyelid? And I'm like, just one. Like, I really just go in the middle, and as you see, like, I pack it on in the middle, and then I just blend it out, and that will help it like look like you have 2 or 3 different colors and you really only have one. So that is one of like my biggest secrets or tips that I could give you. Like, you really could use other makeup products, you know, and not have to spend on all these. I know it's fun, you know, I'm guilty too of buying all these palettes that are super pretty and different, but they're not essential. Like, if you're a college student, you know, living out in college and don't have money, buy yourself a good bronzing blush palette. You'll have like 6, or even a blush palette, and you could wear the peach blush as a eyeshadow, and pink, you know, blush as a blush. So you have different colors and for different uses in there. So, you know, just make it work with what you do. Nobody, at the end of the day, nobody goes around and checks your makeup for what you're wearing and how you're wearing it. So like I said, makeup has no rules, and at the end of the day, it should be fun. So that's what I do. And I'll show you. See? So I will go in and like blend it more, but for the most part, that's it. And I really do need to do my eyebrows, but anyway. So yeah, You see? So you don't need much of anything. I'm not gonna do eyeliner today because it's gonna be very time consuming. But I will tell you what I use for my eyeliner. I have tried the Kat Von D tattoo liner, I think it's called. I've tried, I get the Ipsy bag, so there's been many eyeliners in there that I've tried. But I do have to say, and I know I've posted on Instagram about this and I've raved about this, but there is nothing like my little $4, I think it's like $4.99 or something like that, NYX eyeliner. I use the one in matte. There's also like a shiny one. But I love this thing. Like, I've cried with makeup. Of course, not like whole rub your eye type of thing because it will come off. But like, we know when you kind of shed a tear or something happens or your face gets wet for whatever reason. It has happened to me, and as long as I'm really careful with like taking the water off or when I cry and stuff, like it's pretty good. What I try, if you do have like very watery eyes or sensitive eyes, I would recommend that you don't apply it so close to the outer corner of your eyes. So kind of like start to wing it out a little bit before you get to the like that point on the outside, just so you don't have it touching and it's less of a chance for you to mess it up. So I do use this and I love this. I would recommend it anytime to anybody. So then, but since I'm not going to apply it, I will tell you what mascara I use. I do use a Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I think mascara has been one of the last high-end products that I've started to use, because up until like maybe 2 years ago or even a year ago, I was using I was using like L'Oreal, the L'Oreal, what is it called? The one in the gold tube. I was using that. I was using Maybelline. So this is like, I just started basically. This is like the last high-end. I really like this mascara. I like the Benefit Roller Lash as well. But right now I'm just into this, and I will change it up. You know, I just, whatever I see or that I want to try, I will try. But yeah, this is one of my favorites right now. And I don't have very good eyelashes. Like, they're not long and fluffy or all of that. They're just pretty, like, they're all right. So I don't worry about wearing eyelashes every day. I do wear eyelashes sometimes, but I just haven't really, I'm a mood type of person. Like, if I don't feel like wearing makeup, I won't. And I don't care what you think or, you know, how you feel. But yeah. So, there are days that I just put on some mascara and call it a day for makeup, you know, and just some concealer. But I definitely have to hit my bottom lashes. I'm an all or nothing type of girl. So if I'm gonna put mascara, it will be top and bottom. But yeah. So that's the lashes, you know. And what else? Oh, my favorite part. So before I put on my highlighter, and usually before I put on the mascara, because you know, you close your eyes and it gets all messed up, but I do put on my setting spray. Right now I'm using the All Nighter Urban Decay, but this is all I have right now. I don't know why I don't have the Fix Plus, because that to me is the best setting spray ever. I love it. But this does work. Like if you are going to be out all night, if you don't know what the weather's gonna be like, if you know, I'm from Houston, so if you know, Texas will have a day, in one day we'll have all the seasons. So I do trust this very much so. And right now this is what I'm using, but I do love Fix Plus. So I just try not to squeeze my eyes because I just put on mascara. But oh, and what I do is that I have the big bottle, and since like I said, I have everything always in my makeup bag, I just, you know, from the big bottle, I'll just always be refilling my little travel size. And so I kind of just wait for it to dry. And meanwhile, I put, usually I did that the other way around. Usually like I would put that first, and then as I'm waiting for it to dry, I'll put the mascara on. But you know, whatever. And then now I'm gonna go in with my favorite step, which is highlight. And right now I use 2 different highlighters. If I'm doing like my all day normal makeup like I'm doing now, I do use Whisper of Guilt by MAC. It's beautiful. It's definitely a must have. I love it. And it's lasted me a long time. I should even think that I even need to throw it away, but because it's so old. And then I just recently purchased the Jaclyn Hill. I'm a big Jaclyn Hill consumer as far as her eyeshadows go and her highlights. I'm here for it. I don't know. I don't like to read into drama or anything like that, so I have no idea what happened with her lipsticks when all that launched and she got canceled and whatnot. I don't care. If it's good, I'm gonna buy it, and usually if I buy it once and I'm satisfied with the product, I will keep supporting whoever it is. But like for example, I love Manny MUA. I love his stuff, but I have never purchased anything, not because I feel any type of way, just because I haven't. But Jaclyn, I definitely like her products as far as her highlighters and her eyeshadows. I do have both of the palettes, and I actually did buy the brush that came with the highlight. And Jeffree Star is another person that I like. His I have the liquid lipsticks and I love them a lot. But yeah, so I don't, you know, go with one or the other for the clout. I just like what I like and I purchase what I like, you know. So I'm using Whisper of Guilt, like I said, and I do tend to go heavy because like I said, I love highlight. But yeah, so I put on my setting spray beforehand because I feel like it helps it like set in better. And then I do hit my nose and I do hit my bridge, and okay, all right. So oh, and so this is my everyday. The Whisper of Guilt I will use like on an everyday basis, and then the Jaclyn Hill I will use more for like special occasions. I don't base that on price, like how pricey it is. My foundation, yes, like because I believe that this is like around the 30s, and the other foundation that I have is like almost $50. So that, yes, you know, because if you're gonna be using a product every day, then you know. But I just feel like with the loose powder, you waste a little bit more because you're dumping it. So I just try to be mindful of that and use it less. And also it's a little bit more brighter than the Whisper of Guilt. Like it's definitely more attention grabbing. So, you know, you like to look a little bit more extra or a little bit more, you know, attention grabbing when it's a special event than when it's an everyday thing. So also for my lipstick today, I'm gonna use this Anastasia color. It's called Poet. Me personally, if I was just going to work, like I said, I would just grab some lip therapy and call it a day, or just leave it how I have it and call it a day and go about, you know, the rest of the day. But just for the video's sake, I'm gonna put on some lipstick, and I'm gonna use Poet by Anastasia. And I do leave, I don't take off the lip unless they're very chapped and I have like little dry skin on there. Then I will like grab a napkin or a tissue and wipe it off before applying it. But since my lips are okay, I was just doing it to moisturize so the lipstick wouldn't be so dry on there. I'm just gonna leave it on and just apply it over it. Also, with these videos, I also kind of like want to touch base on the fact that I'm not perfect. You know, I always get these comments on my pictures like, your makeup is so flawless, your face is so beautiful. And you know, it's really about practice. Like anybody that dedicates time to learn, you know, honestly, like I feel like I've been like kind of natural with it, you know, because I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say that I practice my makeup every day. I don't. But like there's been times that I've tried looks and I've had to start over. Like I'm getting ready for something and I've had to start over because it doesn't look how I want it to look. And so then those are the times where I've like come back home the next day or whatever, and the next day I will try it again, even if I'm not going anywhere, just to try the look again and master it, or learn what can I do, what can I not do. So yeah, like definitely eyeliner is definitely something that you're gonna have to try and try, especially if you don't have a steady hand, and find the eyeliner that like the shape that goes with you. You know, sometimes cat eye is not for everybody. Sometimes you're gonna have to go a little bit, like start maybe instead of going all the way to the corner, you're gonna have to start a little bit, you know, winging out a little bit beforehand, just because of the shape of your eye. Not everybody's the same. So with that being said, I do want to emphasize that my videos, I'm going to be telling you, like, I do this because my lips are crooked. I do this because my eyebrows are different. I do this because so-and-so, you know, whatever. Because nobody has a perfect face. Nobody is perfect. So I do want to emphasize that. And I do want to these videos to be motivational, more than you're doing this wrong or you suck, do it like me. No. What I want is to teach those that are everyday girls like me, and yeah, make them feel pretty and good about themselves. And it doesn't take much to you know, to do these things. And makeup could be pricey, but the idea is to not buy everything at the same time, just because you will spend a lot if you buy everything all at once. But we could touch base on those things later. I do appreciate you taking the time to watch my first video, and hopefully it's the first of many. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, okay? Thank you guys. Bye.